This video is sponsored by Card Kingdom. You can visit their store by using my referral link in the description below. Hello everyone, and welcome to another Lord of the Rings Tales of Middle-earth draft video. This is not an awesome pack. This rare is, medium. It can steal the opponent's equipment, which comes up on occasion, but it's, mostly just a 4-mana 4/4. Ugluk is okay, but he's not like an insane signpost uncommon. He's just pretty good. And, if it's gold, your interest in it should be a little lower just because you're less likely to play it. So, Mordor Muster and Birthday Escape are both pretty nice commons. They're both, not that exciting, but they both do sort of the same thing. They both do two little things that ends up being some pretty serious value. And I like black a lot, so I'm probably going to take the Muster. Council's Liberation's pretty good, but it's not amazing. So yeah, I think we'll take Mordor Muster. I like black more than blue overall if I have to make a decision here. This I don't think is a very playable card. It takes a lot of work to make it work. That's what I thought in the set review. It's what I still think. Gorebag's okay, but honestly, even though it's an uncommon that does something sort of related to what Mordor Muster does, Dunland Crebain is just way better. This card was pretty obviously like one of the best commons in the set review, and it's played out exactly like that. We do also have Smite the Deathless, which is a really good removal spell, but I think it's pretty much on par with Dunland Crebain. This can generate a 2-for-1. This basically never can, unless your opponent makes some sort of mistake. And this doesn't always either, but you know what I mean. It gives you 2 bodies. It's usually even more impactful than Smite the Deathless. And I already took a black card, so I may as well stick with, the color I'm in. Smite is good, and there aren't that many commons I would take over it, but Dunland Crebain is definitely one of them. Reprieve's pretty good. I think I'm mostly looking at Voracious Fellbeast. This format's slow enough that playing this big 6-mana 4/4 that ultimately takes something away from your opponent and gains you some life is a pretty reasonable thing to do. Protector of Gondor is good as well. There's a couple good white cards here, but I think we just take the really good black card. All 3 of these, although it's actually funny, I think our first pick is significantly worse than our second and third picks, but that's how weird our first pack was. Yeah, so let's go with Fellbeast here. All right, so after all those black cards, where it was easy to take a black card from the pack, we're now looking at this. Bilbo's really good. It's awkward we took 3 black cards, but we could think about taking it. I may take Lost to Legend. This ends up being a pretty relevant removal spell. It's not amazing, but it's definitely playable. And most of the other stuff, Stalwarts of Osgiliath has been surprisingly good, but I think Lost to Legend is probably better. Okay. This is not a good black card, Morgul Knife Wound. I don't hate Snarling Warg, though. Right now, we're doing okay on Goblins and Orcs. We could take one of these white cards, but neither of them are that good. So I think I'm just going to take the, comparable, I think, black card, because I think it's more clear we're playing black. Ents Fury is pretty good to still be here, but part of the problem, one of the things about this format that makes it not a great one, I don't think, is that there's a lot of color imbalance, and one of the problems is that green it's just not as good as the other colors by a pretty wide margin. So yeah, it's hard for me to want to be that excited about Ents Fury, even though it's still there, It does stink a little bit that black seems to be drawing up, but we'd have a playable black card here in Haunt of the Dead Marshes. I think Rohirrim Lancer is better than Haunt of the Dead Marshes, so we could think about that. These blue cards are all okay, but nothing that exciting. I don't like Nimble Hobbit that much, so we're really looking at whether we want to take another black card or Rohirrim Lancer. They're comparable enough. I think I just stick with the black card. I think we just keep going in that direction. Okay, they could have had 2 Bilbos, that would have been sweet. Gandalf's pretty good, but I don't feel like I'm going to be in a deck that, well, I don't know. I might draw enough cards off of the Ring Tempt ability that I want it. Yeah, all right. I think I'm going to take Gandalf. I mean, the Warg's okay, but Gandalf is enough better, and we haven't really zeroed in on a second color yet, so I think that's where we go. All right, do I want another Warg? Arwen's Gift is probably the best card in this pack, so we did just take another blue card. Yeah, I think we'll take it. See what happens. Okay, so Birthday Escape came back. I think we take that. Looks like we might be shifting into black blue based on the things that are wheeling. Another gift. I mean, I don't love the idea of playing more than one. But it also means I cut blue, and I don't think I'm going to play Lembas, so let's take the blue card. All right, Deceive is fine, too. The Escort of the King's not bad. The Lookout's okay, but we're getting playable blue cards here late. Surrounded by Orcs? Yeah, all right. Yeah, it feels like black-blue is what we've ended up in. The first part of that pack was filled with powerful black cards, and it did dry up on us, but, you know, I think that's okay, especially since blue is seemingly so open. Yeah, the Watcher, I mean, if we end up with a bit of Scry, it's not terrible. Ooh, okay, so, you know, sort of feels like we're moving in a more controlling direction, so getting the File of Galadriel is pretty good, I think, overall. You know, you do have to make the game go long, you kind of have to run out of cards, and it does get awkward with something like Arwen's Gift, but, I mean, it really can win you long games. There is another Gandalf, there's a Mirkwood Bats, those are nice too, but I think the File's really good. So I think that's where I'm going to go. Also fixes our mana. It's easy to forget that sometimes, but it does also do that. Man, Eowyn is real good, but obviously that's not the direction we're headed in. Yeah, this pack is not very exciting for us. So Isolation and Hithlean Knots are both fine. I already have so many 4s. I mean, some of them are going to end up getting cut, of course, but and Isolation's probably better than some of them, but I am considering taking Knots instead. Yeah, I don't hate it. Yeah, let's take Hithlean Knots. Okay, all these Morgul knife wounds, man, they're so bad. All right, so Smoothing of Smeagol's probably where I go. Decent bounce spell. I'd like to see our Signpost uncommon. I think that would really tie things together for us. Okay, so Sam's Desperate Rescue's okay. This is not a particularly good rare. I mean, I don't think it's unplayable, but it's not good either. How much Scry do we have right now? I mean, if you end up with like 4 cards with Scry, Council of Deliberation is definitely worth it. I don't think we're going to play both Arwen's Gifts, but we also have Haunt of the Dead Marshes. Yeah, I think I'm pretty interested in this. Willowwind, just a little interested in it too, but I think I'm going to grab a Deliberation here. It's going to draw us 2 cards, so, ooh, okay. So, Yoreth is pretty good. Do we have any silly combos with it right now? Not really. She's pretty good, but I think Dunland Crebain is just better. Like, the rate on this card is nuts. Wouldn't hate a Willowwind, but yeah, we'll take another Crebain here. Rivendell. Stern Scolding. That thing is, I think, ended up being, you know, perfectly playable. It hits enough things. Shire Terrace is here. But I think I'm either taking Rivendell or Stern Scolding. They're both very real cards that I would want to take over fixing that I may not need. This does give us a repeatable way to scry, which is nice just in terms of value. Yeah, I think we'll just take the land. I mean, your land actually doing something is just such big upside. All right, Saruman's Trickery is real good, so I'm happy to take it. Counter a spell, make a 1/1, generally. Here isn't really something I want to splash. I'll take the Navigator. Kind of hope it doesn't make the cut. I'm taking another Birthday Escape. Sounds good. God, I really need the Signpost uncommon to show up because we have like a lot of spells. And I need to find... I mean, I guess just like grinding out value with File of Galadriel is sort of a win condition. Like, that'll help us win long games, but I don't have any like super powerful thing to win me the game in the later stages, and I don't love that. But we do still have one pack left, and it's not like we're completely devoid of threats. We just don't have as many as I would want at this stage of the draft. But yeah, I think we only run one Arwen's Gift. I think the Warg is going to end up making the cut. We have a bunch of... I don't know how many actual orcs we have, or goblins we don't, but we have a bunch of amass, so... Yeah, I'll take another navigator here. All right. Yeah. I mean, this isn't exactly like an amazing late game win condition, but it's a reasonably efficient flyer, and right now, getting our hands on one of those makes me feel a little bit better about our, you know, the way we're going to win games. Yep, we're definitely going to be playing Deliberation, generating a 2-for-1. There's another one. I kind of hope I don't play 2, but we're going to be able to trigger it when it's in our graveyard, and I think that's good. Ooh, yeah. So I like Oath of the Grey Host a lot. Going into the format, it was easy to fixate on the fact you give your opponent food, but man, the value this gives you overall is really good. If you're like significantly behind your opponent, it's not so good, but as long as you're sort of, you know, if you're only a little behind or anything in any better situation than that, it's really good. So I think I'm going to take it. Making 3/1/1s with flying, also a pretty good way to win some games. Also gives us some fixing, you know, because it gives us a treasure. I wouldn't hate getting either of these cards or a Glorious Gale, but I think the Oath is enough better that it's what I take here. Okay, lots of good stuff here. Thinking about Elrond. I don't hate another Saruman's Trickery, but, you know, this just giving you so many scries is pretty nice value, and it's a reasonable card anyway. Yeah, I wouldn't hate Lorien Revealed. You know, it's a nice land cycler, but I think Elrond's probably where we want to go. Another Saruman's Trickery. Wow. All right, so another Dunland Crebain. I think it's better than Saruman's Trickery. Like, that's how good I think this common is. It's not better than Faramir or Eowyn, I don't think, but... I could try to splash Faramir at this point. I have 2 sources of fixing between the File and Oath of the Grey Host, but this is good enough. You know, it's not anywhere near as good as Faramir. You know, Faramir's like a 10, and this is like a, I don't know, 7.5. But I know for a fact I'll be playing this, and I don't have to like mess with my mana base and hope I pick up fixing. So I think I just take the Crebain. Okay. Lots of good stuff here. I do like Torment of Gollum. I'm not sure it's what we really need to round out our deck. More removal isn't a terrible plan. Bewitching Leechcraft's okay. Lash of the Balrog's probably just better, though. I do like Glorious Gale, but I think we grab a Lash here. The Bath Song's not bad. Format's slow enough that you can definitely play this and not, you know, pay 4 mana for a card that never adds to the board. You just still don't want a bunch of those in your deck, and we do already have Arwen's Gift. The Patrol's okay. Yeah, none of these are things that I'm like super confident will make my deck, but I think I'm going to go with the Patrol in the end. Another Oath of the Grey Host. Interesting. All right. Now we have 3 sources of fixing, so I doubt he's going to wheel Faramir, that is. But if he does, we might be able to swing it, run 1 Plains. Still seems a little sketchy, but we have enough scry that Elrond might actually be good in our deck. I mean, I probably need to pick up like 1 more piece of fixing, but I think it's better than another Deceive the Messenger. The upside is there. Put him over here for now. Have both Elronds in our deck, maybe. Like, that's not too bad. Again, we have enough scry that maybe it's worth running. Oh, wait, I'm not playing green. What am I talking about? Probably just grab another Birthday Escape. So we didn't get our Signpost. That's where Birthday Escape can be really good because you can cast it early. The Signpost mills, usually you. You can choose to mill your opponent. And then you get a mass equal to the number of spells in your graveyard. And if you're just like casting Birthday Escapes, that's pretty good. I don't think we want that Shalob's Trick. I do want Glorious Gale. The envelope fixes, but it's so bad at it that I think I just take the the sure thing card here. Okay, so I think we'll grab the Island Cycler here. Another Saruman's Trickery. Blue is super open here. Like, blue is not a super powerful color in this set, but if it's this open, you know, things are going to go pretty well. And it did, I think. Black in the end wasn't crazy open. We did get 3 Crebanes, but, you know. We have a lot of cuts to make, but I don't think... I think it'll be easier than it looks. There's definitely some cards in here that don't make a ton of sense in the end. All right. So, yeah, I don't really think I'm that into Surrounded by Orcs. You know, Amass 3 is cool and all, but the mill effect doesn't really matter. Do I need 3 Birthday Escapes? Maybe not. Do I need Haunt of the Dead Marshes in the end? I mean, I think we're tempting enough that getting this back is pretty good. The downside is we don't really have the sack outlets to make it that worth it. I mean, it can just keep coming back and scrying, which is valuable, but like, yeah, I mean, I think we probably cut the Haunt and Patrol. Like, they're both both much better in like black-red than they are in this deck. Yeah. I may cut Arwen's Gift in the end. We're still going to have enough scry, I think. Oh, yeah, we do have Elrond, but I don't think we can run him in the end. It would make our mana base bad enough, and if we don't draw, you know, like all the scry payouts, if you don't draw it in the right order, it's kind of a problem. It's one thing that's nice about Council's Deliberation is, you know, it just sits in your graveyard forever and then does a thing. Probably don't need Greyhaven's Navigator. But yeah, I think we're going to cut Arwen's Gift. You know, we have a draw spell if we really want it, and it's one with Island Cycling, and I think that flexibility is just going to be better. Do I want to? I can actually probably cut a land if I have 3 Birthday Escapes and Lorien Revealed, so that's something. I think it's supposed to be a swamp, given what our deck ended up looking like. Although... with an Island Cycler, maybe it's a little safer to go with an island. Yeah. Few more cards to cut. We do have a bunch of counter magic, which is actually pretty good in this format. You know, 2 Trickeries and 2 Glorious Gales seems pretty good to me. There's a lot of formats where you don't really want to be doing that, but in this one, it seems fine to me. I think I'm going to cut Soothing of Smeagol. Yeah, one problem is we don't have a lot in the early game that like actually adds to the board, but if we're countering stuff or Birthday Escaping or whatever, I think that's okay. This isn't a format where you desperately need to get on board by turn 2, like most have been lately. Where did the cuts come from? I mean, maybe Snarling Warg. Maybe I'm just going to rely on flyers to close out the game between the Oath, the 2 Willow Winds, and the Fell Beast. Yeah, I think that works. And then one more cut to be made. Could be Hithalian Knots, I guess, but probably not. I mean, we're not going to be able to take like big tempo advantages with it for the most part. So yeah, I think that's where it will go. All right. I think the deck turned out pretty good. I would have liked maybe a little more removal. You know, if I could replace, as much as I like these counterspells in the format, if I could replace them with actual removal, like the 1 black, destroy target creature, the ring tempts you, like, I would do it in a heartbeat. But, you know, this is acceptable, I think. All right. What does our hand look like? Looks fine. The playing Dunland Crebain after Elrond is pretty good. Turn 1 Birthday Escape. Yeah. I mean, it is kind of a bummer sometimes that you don't get to make something into a ring bearer on turn 1, but, you know, we want to draw the cards, you know, so. So, we don't have a 2-drop. That's not that shocking. I wouldn't hate, I guess, drawing Glorious Gale and then drawing a land. That would be nice. Well, we did draw a land. So they may ramp into some nonsense here. That's not too scary, luckily. Okay, so I think I'm going to play Elrond. Yeah, let's play Elrond. We get a Scry. I may end up trading him, even though playing Dunland Crebain and getting that value seems appealing. Yeah, do I really need a 4th land? I mean, right now I'm not going to be able to leave up mana for Glorious Gale because I'm going to feel like I need to add to the board. So I think I'd rather draw basically anything else. I mean, I guess I could Island Cycle next turn. Yeah, that's a thing. But yeah, I think we put the Gale on the bottom, unfortunately. We're probably going to take a pretty big hit here. Yeah, this becomes a 4-3. I probably have to trade with Chance Met Elves here, which is okay. Does mean we don't get our, you know, Dunland Crebain Ring Temps You thing going. They may not attack, I guess. They don't. I think I can live with that. Alright, so we're going to get the ring to tempt us here. We'll be at level 2. Yeah, let's do it. We also get to scry twice. It's worth remembering. Ooh. Could be useful. I wish I could draw it right now. I'm not going to, though, so I think I put it on the bottom. I'd rather see a land so I know I can play, like, Willow Wind next turn. Same thing here. I think we bottom this counterspell. We need to hit a 5th land badly enough. I think I hit the Crebain because being able to... Oh yeah, I have Island Cycling. I probably should have done that before I scryed. Yeah, that's definitely what I should have done. But yeah, drawing a card off of this and stuff is pretty good. Alright, so 5-4 now. This time I imagine it's going to be attacking me. Yeah, their board's getting big. But I'm still at 20, so I'm not too concerned. I don't think we're going to block. That is 8 damage. I guess we're going to double block Galadrim Guide here with these two. Yeah. Take 5. Bye-bye, Elrond. But that's an okay trade, I think. But yeah, I'm going to Island Cycle now, even though it's far from optimal. Okay. Could get this to level 3 right away, but I think playing out Willow Wind looks pretty good right now. Let's attack with our Crebain and loot. Alright. I don't really want to discard this land. I may discard Birthday Escape. I mean, Deceive the Messenger will actually do something here. Birthday Escape, you know, getting to the 3rd level is nice. Maybe I just discard one of my Willow Winds, huh? Because Birthday Escape seems good enough to hold on to. I don't think we need to. Hit them for 1. Play a land. So I could leave up Deceive and Isolation at Orthonk. That's not a bad plan. Like, I can bounce this Chance Met Elves. Maybe kill their Death Toucher or something like that. But I think we just play this 3/4 flyer. There's Oath of the Grey Host. Is it a little too slow right now for me to really be excited about it? Probably not. Yeah, I can play it next turn and leave up Deceive the Messenger, which might end up being a good turn. Bouncing that Chance Med Elves is going to end up feeling really good, I think. That's interesting. Yeah, we're just going to double block here and take 5. We lose our Orc army, but we still hold on to our 3/4 flyer, so I think that's okay. Maybe I just want to play another 3/4 flyer, huh? Seems like 2 of those will be pretty good. I think we play the Oath instead, though. Leaving up... No. Alright, so let's attack with Crebain again. See what we get off our loot. Another Crebain. Okay. The way this game is going, I'm not sure the file's ever going to do anything. Like... Yeah, I think I'm actually going to discard it, as sad as it is. I need to find a way to stabilize, and it's not helping with that game plan, and basically everything else in our hand can. So... So what's going to happen here is they're probably going to attack me with, like, everything, and this is going to get really big. So if I don't have mana up to bounce it, you know, back into their deck, it's not going to feel great. I could go with Deceive the Messenger. Yeah, let's get this started. I think that's a good idea. It's just going to be so much damage. I mean, Deceive will help. It'll give me a second. It'll give me a body to block with and blank one of their creatures, basically. All right, yeah, let's get our Oath started. They get food, but I don't care, you know. We look very defenseless. We're much less defenseless than we are because Deceive the Messenger is so good. Like, you know, -3/-0 and a 1/1 for a single mana. You know, it's a situational card to some extent, but man, the rate is pretty nice. So this is going to be a 6/5 now. We'll be chumping it with a zombie, or Orc army, rather. It's not a zombie army. Herodream Lancer joining the mix. That is annoying, but luckily it's not big enough to block Willow Winds. It is big enough to block our 1/1s. Let's see what happens to us here. All right. So, yeah. Let's let you scry. Makes your Chance Elves really big. What do I want to kill? Maybe one of the Lookouts. Maybe the Death Toucher. So this is going to block there. This is going to block here, and I take 3. Yeah. Treasure token. So, I think I'm supposed to attack with the Crebain first again. maybe just playing Crebain and leaving up Glorious Gale is what I want to do here. Gets us a couple bodies. I mean, each time we do that, we're increasing our chances of winning because we're making the game longer. We do still have this huge chance met elves over there that I have to deal with at some point. I mean, I don't need to in the immediate future, but it makes me not really want to discard Isolation. So we have 6 mana. I could play Crebain and leave up Glorious Gale / food. I could also just play Willowwind and have a second 3/4, but I think we need to be making multiple bodies and stuff to be really happy here. So I think I'm actually going to discard Willowwind. We're going to have flyers. I mean, I guess they do have this annoying reach thing that Willowwind can actually attack through. But yeah, I think we still discard Willowwind. Oh, my Crebain is going to die. They decided not to block it. Oh, no, they couldn't block it. Alright, so yeah, let's play another Crebain. Amass. Oh, I could just play... Yeah, let's just do that. It's better than leaving up Glorious Gale, because there's a chance they don't play anything I can counter, so... Two of those. Okay. We will be chump blocking that with a Crebain if it attacks us. Wow. That seems aggressive. Scares me a little. Alright. So the chump's going to happen there. That's going to happen here. This is going to happen there before... Well, I could... Yeah, let's just trade there and then block here. They have very little mana. There is the 1 red mana +1 trick, but it doesn't really... The best they can do is kill my Crebain with it and keep their Pathfinder alive. It doesn't work on any of their other creatures. So... that seems like a strange attack to me. And there's our Fell Beast, which will go a long way towards stabilizing us. I mean, if I can hit a land right now, just playing the Fell Beast is really good. Yeah, let's attack. I could attack with Willowwind instead, but I think the loot is valuable enough that that's what I want to do. There's a land. Do we even need Isolation at Orthonk anymore? I feel like we have so many bodies that I'm not even that worried about Chance Met Elves anymore. Yeah, so let's do that. Let's do one to them. And then let's play our Fell Beast. We have a lot of flyers. It does mean we don't have a good, like, chump block this turn. We have to give up something real-ish. But I think that's probably okay. If they attack us. They may not attack us. No, they're going to attack us. Definitely taking one. Maybe I just double block Chance Met Elves here. Yeah, I think so. Of course, if they have that 1 red mana trick, this is going to hurt, but I sort of assumed they didn't because they didn't use it. Our opponent has made some mistakes in combat in this game. I think that's safe to say. So we can swing for 11 here. I have some food, but it's probably not a great idea to swing with everything. So, you know, they do have a 4/2 over there. So I'm going to be a little more conservative and attack with these 3. play Rivendell and leave up our Gale. Don't know how they're going to get out of this, though. Well, that would have helped. They still wouldn't have won. We would have just blocked and swung back, you know. But works for me. I would have taken one and chumped the other two with the 1/1s. It's a good thing, you know, I ended up being able to counter it, I guess. But even if I couldn't, the fact I didn't swing with everything there would have been good news. Well, that kind of went how I expect the games to go with this deck, where we, you know, sort of weather an early storm, but we just outvalue our opponents in the mid to late game. That's pretty much how it went. All right, it's a little slow, but I can counter something on turn 2, so, you know, it's whatever. Yeah, still don't have anything till turn 4, which is less than ideal. They didn't play anything, though, which makes me feel a lot better. So if I can counter a creature here and then play Oath, that seems like a pretty good start to the game for me. If they play something I can't counter, it's going to be a little sad. But they do. They may have played, you know... Counter magic is good enough in this format that playing around Glorious Gale is a good idea, and they're like, well, this isn't a creature, so I think it's what I'm going to cast. I think we get our Oath going. I mean, if we draw a land next turn, we can play Fellbeast next turn with the treasure, so yeah. Here, have some food. Ooh, they're ramping like mad over there. That's scary. I do have Lash of the Balrog, which can deal with most stuff in this format. So if I draw a land here, I definitely play Fellbeast because it would kill their creature. I do not draw a land, unfortunately for me. All right, so let's play Elrond. I mean, I could play the other Oath. Give them even more food. But I think leaving up Glorious Gale here is probably, if I can do it, and I can, is probably a good idea. So let's just play Elrond. Another Glorious Gale. I don't love it. I'm probably going to Island Cycle anyway, now that I think about it. But, well, unless they play something I can counter. So yeah, we'll put Glorious Gale on the bottom. Man, I don't know. I'm scared. You don't see a whole lot. Maybe they have like Tom Bombadil. They're only playing red and green, so I don't know. Wouldn't hate if they played something that gets the ring going for us, and they do. Yeah, I think we just take 2. I can leave up even more counter magic. We also get the ring tempts us triggering here. Yeah, so I think we just leave Kerbane on top. Although there is a chance here I decide to Island Cycle. There's a pretty good chance it happens, actually, because I might play Saruman's Trickery. This will get the ring to tempt us again, it's worth noting. Yeah. I guess I'll just leave it on top. If I don't Island Cycle, then this is a good thing to draw. But I don't want to Island Cycle now anyway, so... yeah, so I think we leave up Trickery and... yeah, I think that's plenty good here. We'll get to Scry again, I guess, but... I guess maybe if they play a spell I can counter, I should Island Cycle first and then cast Saruman's Trickery. Probably what I want to do. So yeah, let's do that. That way the scry actually, you know, matters. Looks like they may be killing Elrond, but if that's the case, I don't know why they didn't do it before I get to scry. I guess they just missed. So, a land. I don't hate a land. But I don't love it either. Okay. Flashy Gandalf. I guess the other one has flash too, huh? So I could... I mean, I feel like the board is in a spot where playing Oath of the Grey Host makes some sense for me. Yeah. Then we can play Fell Beast next turn, so yeah. Holding up Gandalf's tempting, but I think getting this going is pretty good. I feel like I'm playing Lingering Souls or something. Little ground-based creatures aren't a big concern for us, so that all works for us. Are they going to blow up Oath of the Grey Host? That'd be a bummer. I mean, you know, wouldn't be the end of the world, but... Yeah? Alright, that does make me a little sad, although just drawing Birthday Escape like that makes me pretty happy. Do I want to play Fell Beast, or would I rather just play Gandalf and then cast Birthday Escape? I'm going to miss the ambush opportunity, but Birthday Escape will draw me 2 cards, so don't want to do it like that. So yeah, I think we go Gandalf, Birthday Escape, draw a card. Yeah, we'll just discard Deliberation. We can get a card out of it later, so we might as well. Another creature I'm not too concerned about. And another creature I'm not too concerned about. So, yeah, none of these things are too much of a concern. Wow, they are desperation scrying here. I guess that, you know, it's not a bad idea. Sometimes you got to do it. They put it on top, which is interesting. I guess it's not actually desperation now that I think about it. I don't actually have a block that kills it and doesn't let me lose anything. It's not completely desperate anyway. So, Fell Beast really isn't that great right now. I'm kind of thinking about just playing 2 Crebanes. Although the Fell Beast has flying and would give me lethal. Well, yeah, would give me lethal in the air next turn. Subtracts from their board. It's probably what I'm supposed to do. All right. So let's attack with both of these. This can buff something, which could matter. All the Dunlin Crebanes. We're going to discard one of them. Then we'll play Fell Beast. They lose a thing. You know, none of it is that scary, but... I could Lash of the Balrog, like Woe's Pathfinder here, if I really want to be cautious, but they'd have to spend their whole turn giving something +3/+3 and trample. So I think holding on to our Lash for a real problem is probably what we want to do. All right. 2 games in a row have gone the way we wanted them to. Win the game with flyers, you know, grind out value with sagas, and the ring tempts you and stuff, and then, you know, see if we can keep it up. See what's in store here. Not bad, not bad. I mean, you know, 4 lands, maybe not perfect, but Rivendell turn 1, maybe counter something turn 2, play Crebain turn 3 is plenty good, I think. Yeah, we're still playing Rivendell here. Whew! Not going first stinks sometimes when your opponent plays freaking Frodo Baggins. All right. Whew. Well, I'm very happy to counter Rosie Cotton. I think she's even scarier than Frodo is, so I will take it. All right, Crebain time. Ooh, must be blocked if able. God dang it, Frodo. Why you gotta be like that? Yeah. Guess I should have just killed Frodo. Oh, I don't have black mana right now, so I couldn't have. Yeah, that's bad. This won't be a 2/4 next turn, at least. Yeah, I think I'd rather give up the flyer. So... okay, that might get interesting. I might be able to sneakily take out Frodo here. I guess it needs to have 2 power again, though. Yeah, it's not going to work out. But yeah, we do have to pass here. I will be able to kill East Farthing Farmer if it attacks me, because of Deceive plus Amass. Gosh, Aaron Rider of Gondor's good. 3 mana, 3/2, draw a card. All right, we're going to give it a try, killing East Farthing Farmer here. They could have a trick, but, like, you know, it's not going to upset me a whole lot. That is one nice thing about Deceive, is there aren't that many things that, like, blow you out when you do it, like, when it lines up. So, you know, even if they had a trick there, it was likely to maybe save their creature, but not that likely to kill mine. You know what I mean? All right, so let's play Willow Wind now. Get a couple cards deeper in our library. Birthday Escape. Yeah, that seems pretty useful here. We'd like to start looting. Also, it would give me a legendary creature for Rivendell. Yeah. I will pass. All right. That's not something I love. That's interesting. Did they forget my creature can fly, do you think? Yeah, I was going to say, I think they did. It's like, It's easy to think sometimes this makes things unblockable, but it does not. Ooh, did they trick me? They did trick me. They are sneaky. I mean, I think I still would have blocked even if they didn't oops, but, you know. Okay, it does make my life worse. No doubt about that. Let's birthday escape. Okay. So the really bad news here is... Yeah, I mean, I think I'm going to have to Isolation of Orthanc Landreval. I can do it now. But because if I don't, I'm taking 7 damage this turn, and if I can stop it, I may as well. I think we wait until next turn. Like, wait until it's their turn to do it, but before they attack, just so Landreval's even further away from mattering. And then if they attack, I think I would trade with Errand Rider. Yeah. Yeah, we want them to go to combat first. So get rid of that thing. This turn is a lot less painful if we do that. And the reason I think it's okay to trade is because I can Mordor Muster and then Lash of the Balrog, like, to kill Frodo if necessary. So... Whew. That's... There's opponent... This is the first opponent we've played who's definitely, like, outvaluing us on cards. This will definitely do that. Grab that Landreval. Okay, I can counter Landreval. That's something. Okay. Let us Mordor Muster. Do I want to kill Frodo? Probably. Yeah, I mean, they're going to get their ring temps really going if I don't, so... And then I can counter Landreval, so... yeah. Seems like it'll work. Obviously, they're going to draw another card, which is less than ideal, but, you know. Maybe they don't have another legendary creature, right? No, they do. I hope they try to play Landreval. I'd much rather counter Landreval. Yeah, they're sort of playing around the counter magic. Yeah, we kind of have to do it. Unfortunately for us. Running a lot of counter magic can pay off, kids. Alright, so we're going to pass the turn. This does gain double strike this turn, but luckily we've kept enough things off the board that it's not completely devastating. It is going to hit me for 4, but, you know, what are you going to do? And they get to loot and everything. Luckily, they don't have level 4. That's where the double strike would be completely brutal. Yeah, so let's counter that. I don't think I Island Cycle Lorien Revealed in this game. I think we're going to use it for the cards. Yeah. That's what we're going to do. It's a little bit of a bummer. There was no way for me to leave blue mana up, but I think that's okay. I don't think... I don't think I'm supposed to attack here. The loot doesn't really seem that valuable. Okay, not worried about that, so that's good. I'm a little more worried about things now, though. So that just got to level 4. So that means that's going to hit me for 6 if I let it through. Am I just supposed to counter it? Maybe. I'm probably just supposed to take the hit and lose the life. So I can do everything at... Once I flash in Gandalf, I can do everything at instant speed. But if I play Gandalf now, just like earlier, I can Birthday Escape and draw a card right away. It does mean maybe I don't ambush block this thing. But I think that's okay. I mean, we just need to get a bunch of cards and get ahead of them, which I think we are finally maybe about to do. So, yeah, let's play... I think waiting a turn might just be okay, though. Yeah, I think it is. We'll do stuff on their turn, because Gandalf will give this flash. Okay. We're just going to pass. Hopefully they didn't draw something good. That's what I'd like to avoid, something good. Of course, they get to draw again here, but... This will then become their completely, you know, amped up ring bearer, but that's okay. We get rid of this thing. Yeah, I guess we Birthday Escape now. Draws us 2 cards. They're both islands, of course. I mean, I need to make it to a later turn. So let's Council's Deliberation. Okay. 5, 6, 7. I can play both of these. I mean, that's going to be a good turn. It's not going to be easy to survive, necessarily. But it's possible, especially if they brick on their draw here. Of course, they get to loot, so it's a lot harder to brick. We're trying to stabilize. So I'm going to have to block this with Dunland Crebain and this with work my army. If they have removal, we lose. And they do. Is my math correct? Yeah, I mean, I can't let either of them through, so they get us. I wonder if I was supposed to be attacking with my Ring Bearer. It was just so hard to because they were so far ahead of us, but... We just needed like 1 or 2 more turns, and I think we would have turned the corner, but the fact that they got the ring all the way up to level 4 like they did make that a lot more challenging. It was a bummer because we did the same thing, but we just couldn't... we didn't have a situation where we could attack that effectively. That Frodo coming down was really the moment that happened. It didn't go very well. And that was turn 2, so we were behind basically from the jump. Well, that's a mulligan, unfortunately. Yep, only black mana. This is much better. I wonder if I put a land back. I'm kind of leaning in that direction because of Birthday Escape. Yeah, let's put a land back. Probably end up countering something here. But maybe not. Maybe not. Okay, so let's play Crebain. We don't leave up Gale, but generally it's kind of a bad idea to force yourself to leave mana up. You know, you want to leave it up when you don't have other things to do, or, you know, like, you win if you counter whatever they play, basically. And we had something pretty good to do that gets us pretty far ahead on board, so... Especially because they just didn't play anything. Well, I'm going to attack and then play Elrond, I guess. Again, we're not leaving up our counter magic, but I think I can live with that. Like, imagine if I'd left up my counter magic that turn. They didn't play anything. So, I'd like an island. Oh, yep. Thank you, Elrond. Ask and you shall receive. 3 colors. So what's the Mardu legend in this set? Goodbye, Elrond. I can't remember. I feel like there is one, though. I'll just say, we're down with the trade here. That's for sure. So we're going to build out our board and hopefully be enough ahead. Do I want Lorien revealed? I think it'll be useful eventually, but I'd rather draw Crebain next turn. For sure. So I think we do that. Next turn I can play Crebain and leave up Glorious Gale without any problems. And hopefully they don't add anything really scary to the board here. If that's the case, I feel like we're going to get pretty far ahead. If it's just some random... Ooh. Wow, she didn't have anything to kill. Because my power is too low. Who knew that would be a good thing? I think they just realized that. I was thinking she was going to kill something too, but I was wrong. Alright, so I feel pretty good about this. We can keep attacking them in the air. We can play Crebain, leave up Glorious Gale. So as long as they try to play a creature here, we're kind of golden. Especially if it's a legendary one. And then next turn, I could cast Lorien Revealed, but because it doesn't add to the board anyway, leaving up Saruman's Trickery is probably just going to be better. So... Creature with greater power. Yeah. I just had a 3/4 and a 1/1, so... Ooh! Okay. I mean, it's not great for them here, but it is a card that I couldn't counter. And that's frustrating. Maybe I do cast Lorien Revealed now. Probably not. Hit them for 5. Yeah, I don't think we cast Lorien Revealed. They get a mountain here. Yeah, freaking Saga. We're far enough ahead that even after they get this I mean, we drop them to 2 this turn if they don't do something drastic. It's not legendary, but it is a creature. Question is whether I'd rather use Saruman's Trickery. Trickery does make this bigger, but that doesn't really make a difference. And Trickery is more flexible. So yeah, I think we'll counter the creature. Use the creature counter, that is. I don't think I'm supposed to Island Cycle here, though. It's not a terrible idea, because I'm not planning on casting it this turn either. Alright, so... Attack them for 5. Drops them to 2. I think we leave up Trickery here, because they have to cast something other than getting their huge dragon to not die. So... yeah. We will leave up Trickery. So they get a huge dragon, but luckily I'm at 20 and they're at 2, and they have to kill Willow Wind or they're dead already, basically. So I'm hoping they tap a bunch of mana and try to do something big here to try to stabilize, and that we can just counter it and untap and win the game. That's not big. But it's also not something that keeps them from dying, so I'm just going to let it resolve. So... interesting. Okay. We're at the point where File is probably going to be pretty good, if we can't win here. I think we're going to be able to, because we can just counter whatever they try to do. So, yeah, just swing with everything. Probably not going to get to play our file. Okay, what you got? To not be dead. Well, that doesn't really matter, so sure. All right. Counter magic in this format, man. It's won us a couple of our games, I think. Okay. Hand looks okay. It's definitely not a great one, but it's certainly keepable. You know, in turn 2 I can leave up Glorious Gale. If I get to cast it, great. If I don't, I can cast Council's Deliberation. So I think we still do that. Would have been nice to have Birthday Escape on turn 1, but you know, I think leaving up Gale / Deliberation is probably what we want to be doing, so. Alright, so let's deliberate. That's not a land. That is. So I can't really do anything else, so I may as well leave up Saruman's Trickery. I could cast Birthday Escape just to do it, but that seems silly, so we're just going to pass. Yeah, I think we counter that. And then we're going to Birthday Escape. Make our orcs into ring bearers. We get to leave up Glorious Gale. Next turn we could play Willow Wind. Seems pretty good. Especially if I get to counter something here, and I do. It's going to make Voracious Fellbeast a lot more potent if we can get to a point where, you know, like this turn they play a creature, next turn I play Fellbeast and it dies. So, that's pretty gross. And here come the flyers. Ooh, yeah. I like all of these. Both of these, I guess, would be the more correct use of the English language. Doesn't really matter what order I put them in. I'm just gonna... I guess I'll put... No, we'll put Gandalf first, because then the turn after is probably when we Gandalf plus Birthday Escape. Next turn, it's almost certainly going to be Fellbeast time. Oh, yeah. Well, we're going to draw Gandalf now. That makes it even better. Turning this into Scry 2 Draw 1 is pretty nuts. Pretty nuts. They don't play a creature, which is interesting. Makes me want to hold off on Fellbeast because I have Gandalf. But you know what? It might just be better to play Willow Wind here. Play Birthday Escape and Willow Wind. I'm going to miss out on a card in like the short run, I guess, but I think that's okay. I get to start looting, so I think it works for me. We'll keep this as our ring bearer. I mean, I'm not going to leave up mana for Glorious Gale here. I just don't really need to. So I'm probably just going to play Willow Wind. It probably means I don't need this island overall. Yeah, we'll just play another Willow Wind. Might get countered. We've countered enough spells today. We deserve to have one of ours countered. Okay, them having to use that to draw cards is good news, I think, generally speaking. Yeah, I'll draw Crabane. Definitely, I mean, if they play creature here, we definitely play Fell Beast. If they don't, we might play Crebain and leave up Glorious Gale. Ooh, that's less than ideal. All right, so they wipe our board. Luckily, we can rebuild it reasonably well. I do think we just pass now, leave up Gale and Gandalf. I guess I want to flash in Gandalf first if I end up having something I want to counter. I don't get to draw a card, sadly. I don't think I'm going to burn a counter spell on that. Alright, so let's play Gandalf. See if they counter that. They do. I hope they don't have another counter spell here, because it's Voracious Fellbeast time. Oh my. Like I said, we've been doing this to people, so I can't complain too much. Alright. That works for me, I think. Yeah. That's big. But I think we're going to win the race. Especially because we have some food lying around. Yeah, we're going to take that. And then we're going to eat our food. It'd be kind of nice to have a ring bearer right about now in terms of, like, card quality, but... Oh, it does 3. Yeah. We let it die. I mean, couldn't do anything about it. If it only did 2, we could have blown them out there and it would have been hilarious, but it doesn't, so... But they are dead in the air next turn, and we have a counter spell. Oh, it does only deal with creatures, so if they play a removal spell, I can't do anything about it. But, so hopefully they don't. If it's not a removal spell, and it's like a flyer or reach creature or something, then we'll be fine. Looks like we're going to get there. We really haven't gotten to do anything with our file, and you know, it may not be that good in this deck. I mean, we've had it, but we've discarded it and stuff like that. Scryed it to the bottom. Because we're running all this counter magic, we do end up in some awkward spots. And we have some card draw spells that might make it a little awkward too, but that's okay. I mean, I don't know. I think this, like the game plan I envisioned this having during my draft has lined up so perfectly that it's kind of crazy. The whole control deck, win the game with flyers thing has pretty much worked out. Not a good hand. Ooh, never mind. We have an Island Cycler. That does make this keepable, I think. It's still not great, honestly. Because we need double blue. But I think it's okay. I think it's okay. The Birthday Escapes might get us to the land we want anyway. Well, there's our file. Pretty good chance we play it next turn. If only to improve our mana. I guess Birthday Escape with file in play is kind of nuts. We're not doing anything about it now, but... Alright, so they're like ramping their mana. Yeah, so we're supposed to go... File of Galadriel. Birthday Escape again. Oh, there's more blue mana. We are behind on board, though, which I don't like. Right now, it's not like a big difference, but could be. Although the fact they're attacking with Yoreth means they're probably not ramping into anything. This might give me time to just cast Oath here. The other option is just leaving my mana up, though. There's a decent chance they have their own Saruman's Trickery here, which is less than ideal, but I think we go for it. Okay, I can live with that. Have a food token. Am I supposed to cast Birthday Escape again? I'm getting kind of greedy here where I'd like to actually get a Ring Bearer out of it. So I think I'm going to hold on to it. Yeah. Yeah, I'm going to hold on to it. So we did get our file down in this game. I don't know how often you actually want to play it on turn 3 like we had to in this game, but, you know, it'll work. If they don't play anything insane here, I'll be pretty happy because then we can kind of get our shields up. I mean, we're behind on board, but Oath of the Grey Host. Okay. All right. Voracious Fellbeast is really good. It's just a question of whether they can counter it. But I guess if they can, it's not the end of the world. So I think we just go for it. What else am I going to do? I mean, I could leave up counter magic and stuff, but for reasons I've already explained, doing that when you have other options is generally not a great plan. That's interesting. They'd rather hold on to the Survivor, huh? Maybe they have some spell they're splashing in their hand. Now we will Birthday Escape. I could wait till I have 1/1s, but I think doing it now makes sense. I mean, are they trying to mill me out? I just don't know. Do they have that sweeper that got us in our last game? I mean, I think we discard the land. I wonder if I'm supposed to play Willowwind here, or if I'm supposed to leave up, like, sort of play around a sweeper. I mean, we do force them to play a sweeper more or less if we play Willowwind here. I mean, they're going to take so much damage in the air so quickly. Like, that's their only out. But the fact that they're not adding to the board and they have 4 cards in their hand might be signaling that that's exactly what they're going to do. And if it is, that's not great for us. I mean, you know, in the aftermath, we'll be able to counter some stuff and probably get back into the game. Yeah, let's play Willowwind. Maybe they just counter it or something a lot less offensive than a sweeper. Yeah, they just counter it. I can live with that. We're not Lash of the Balrogging anything. We're holding on to that for a more concerning target. Okay. Works for me. I mean, you know, 2-for-1s are... Oh, it's actually a 3-for-1 because it made them sack something. They're going to try to mill me out? Otherwise, you would attack there. Yeah, they're going to try to mill me out. All right. Well, as of now, I'm not killing them that quickly, so it could work out. I just have all of our spells in our hand. I may just Isolation at Orthonk this thing. That seems like overkill, though, at this point. I guess I may as well sack some food. I don't have anything to do with it. I guess with my file, it gains me more life later, but... All right, I mean, this is still a race we win. They're only milling 3 cards at a time, and we're doing 3 at a time. I guess it's kind of close. I could definitely isolation it, and I guess if they tap for that ability again during their turn, I'm probably going to. Although, then I don't have Trickery up, so I probably just wait till the end of their turn at least. Yeah, let's just do it. It'll slow down their attempt to mill us out significantly. Oh, I do actually have Trickery up because of our file. Alright. This will work because we get another body too. And then we draw another one. But yeah, you can see how the file maybe isn't amazing in our deck when we have 3 counter spells in our hand and such. We're 1 short of lethal. They scoop anyway. I'm sure it's very frustrating playing limited and getting so many spells countered. I mean, it is frustrating. I've experienced it in this format. It's not unusual to see someone packing 4 counter spells in this format, like we are. All right, this looks like a good keep. Let's counter everyone's spells in limited. We are drawing them like an inordinate number of times. That's for sure. I can't counter that. And it hurts that I can't. I think we cast Birthday Escape. We could leave up the Trickery, but there's a pretty good chance they play a creature here. If they play something I can't counter, I might be a little sad, but... you know. I think this was the right thing to do. Get the ball rolling, draw an extra card. Oh! This is bad. This is bad. Alright, well, we don't really have an option now, so... Obviously, we're leaving up Saruman's Trickery. It's not terrible either, honestly. I counter that. I get a 1-1 to trade with one of their 1-1s. You know, I'll take it. But... Alright. Yeah, let's do this. We have enough time, I think. As long as they don't play something really scary. That's pretty scary. Luckily, Isolation at Orthonk does pretty much deal with it. Should I wait until their turn? I guess I should. They might, like, amass again and try to, like, get us. So, I think it makes sense here to leave up. I mean, we could play Willow-Wind, but since the best it can do is chump block, it's better to leave up Isolation and Glorious Gale here, I think. They do amass again. They're also going to mill me a bunch, but I think that's fine. They're going to mill me 8 cards here, but then I'll bounce the huge creature. Which, you know, it's just straight up removal at this point. Take 1. We got to the point where we got our tokens. They are tapped, which is less than ideal, but we got them. I think because we can leave up Gale and still add to the board, I should. Like, I could play Willow-Wind instead here and not leave it up, but if I can leave it up, I don't know why I wouldn't. Can we stabilize? We do have to win the game kind of quickly. Because we only got 13 cards left thanks to those surrounded by orcs. Man, they just keep playing things I can't counter, and it is frustrating. I mean, that's not the most back-breaking play in the world, don't get me wrong, but... I think I trade. All right, get the flying clock online. Birthday escape seems pretty good. Don't really need another island, though. Try to play a creature. Well, we have something good to sack to Lash to the Balrog, at least. Oh, yeah, the blue-red deck runs so many cards that aren't actually creature spells that it is not great for us. All right, so I think we kind of need to sack this food. These Glorious Gales have been awful in this game. I mean, you know, they've been really good in every other game. I think that makes up for it, but it is frustrating. Have they played a creature spell? No, they haven't. Guess maybe they're considering doing something here now that I'm tapped out. Wasn't anything I could do about anything they want to do anyway, so... Doesn't hurt my feelings too much. I will... probably at least get to loot here after I cast Birthday Escapes, and hopefully we can find something. I'm not sure what's happening here. Maybe a disconnect. Yeah. Alright, so we're going to Birthday Escape. Also, will let us start using Rivendell, which is nice, because we'll have a legendary creature. Okay. Well, I think... out of an abundance of caution, I'm only going to attack with the thing that lets me loot. Then I'm going to cast Lorien Revealed. That's the reason I don't want to attack with both, because my shields are obviously going to be down, and there's a good chance that I'm going to really desperately need to block. There's enough haste and stuff. Alright, so we're going to discard the Swamp. If I can untap after casting Lorien Revealed, I think we have a really good shot at stabilizing here. Okay. Well, let's cast another Birthday Escape then. So we're down to 5 cards. I probably need to stop drawing them now. And hope that they don't have something like, whatchamacallit, another Surrounded by Orcs would be bad. Opponent could definitely mill us out in this game. Have to be prepared for that, but if I stop drawing cards, I have enough time to kill them. Of course. Now that my shields are down. They have something I could have countered and gotten a powerful temp trigger out of. So I don't really want to cast Council's Deliberation. I don't really want to loot either, honestly. So I can play Fellbeast here and then leave up Glorious Gale, which is good. If I can get a 4th temp trigger, it'll really speed up our clock. I would have had it if I'd played more conservatively on that turn instead of drawing cards. Food helps. Doesn't help our library situation, but it does help our life situation. Okay, that's probably not good. So there's a good chance they have the Gimli trick, and if that's true, there's not really a good way for us to block. But obviously we kind of have to. Okay. Oh my. Okay. I think that's pretty much going to do it. There's no way we can kill them quickly enough. Right? Just all my card draw. Finally backfired. Down to one card. Wonder. It's funny that it shows the rest of my library as if it's there. I think I mean, you know, hindsight's 20/20, but the turn, I should have been maybe even more conservative than I wanted to be about card draw and just not cast Lorien Reveal. Like, if I hadn't, of course, they had removal in the end, so it probably doesn't matter, but if I hadn't cast it and left my mana up, I would have countered Grishnak, which would have led to us taking way less damage, and my Ring Bearer would have been fully upgraded, so it would have been like a must kill. Which, I think they could kill it, but then I probably still have like my Fell Beast and stuff, so I don't know. Alright, this looks pretty good. Turn 1, Birthday Escape. Wouldn't hate drawing Glorious Gale, provided we play against someone who's actually going to cast creature spells. That was brutal. But, you know, lots of powerful stuff in our hand. Blue and black, especially blue, I guess, in the end. But black was really open at the beginning. I guess I got these 2 oaths near the end, didn't I? Both colors ended up being very open, and, you know, that's what you want to aim for. Opponent mulliganed. Alright, that's pretty nice. I mean, we're not going to leave up Saruman's Trickery anytime soon, but eventually we'll get there, and at least now we know we can cast it when we do. We're going to be more interested in just, you know, playing Crebain turn 3. Might just play another Crebain turn 4, depending on what the board looks like, if we don't play the Oath. Yeah, they played a 2-drop, which I don't love, given our situation. Yep. I mean, this deck's not going to do super well against the more aggressive decks. I think that much is clear. But Crebain does help, you know, making 2 bodies that can trade. It makes a difference, for sure, but I may not have time. It hasn't really happened yet where I just straight up haven't had time for Oath of the Grey Host, but I think there's a chance that we don't in this game. Like, I think there's something to be said here for trading our zombie. Well, now we can't do it. I would trade the zombie. Yeah, all right, I will trade with you. That works for me. I think we just play another Crebain. Next turn I may play Mordor Muster and leave up... He stopped attacking us. I like it. Ooh, birthday escape. Yeah, we're going to do that so we can start looting. Then it's going to be a question of, well, we attack first because we'll have more options. Know what our options are anyway after we do. Do I have time for Oath of the Grey Host? I mean, I think I do. Next turn I can play Fellbeast if I play Oath. Yeah, let's do it. Gains us life in the long run too, which is useful against this opponent. It's useful against most opponents. Well, that's pretty good against our Oath. At least it's just a one-for-one trade. But, you know, the fact that they got rid of it when they did is a big deal. I mean, I could have played Fellbeast. Alright, so we're going to attack. Okay, Deceive seems pretty good here. Is it better than Mordor Muster, though? Probably not. Yeah, probably not. We're going to muster now. Get a fourth land, and yeah, we'll end our turn, leave up our mana to either counter something or bounce something. I could attack, but I think I'd rather just take one a turn than three. You know? I think that seems better. Math. Tap out for something for me to counter. They do. Thank goodness, too, that I countered that, because that was going to be very bad for us. No attack, huh? I think I swing out here. And then play Fellbeast. I think holding on to removal is a good idea. Seems like I might reach a point in this game where I can tap out and not add to the board, but I'm definitely not there yet, so... So they want to get a ring tempt going. Interesting. They must have a legendary payoff in their hand. But we'll go ahead and kill one of those tokens, too. Obviously, the one that's not the ring bearer is the one that died. Whew, yeah. We gotta trade Fellbeast for that. Do we, though? I mean, I can just kill it relatively easily. Yeah, we've got 2 food. I think I can afford to take 6 here. Yeah. 3, 6, 7. So I can cast this for, yeah. Okay. So I think we attack with everything again. We are getting dangerously low on life. I could maybe just attack with these 2 and plan on trading the Crebain with their ring bearer for ring bearer. But I also kind of want to loot. I'm just so low on life that it's a little bit sketchy. Yeah, I think I'm actually just going to go get in for 8 here. Even with food in play, if I cast Lash, I'm only going to be able to sacrifice 1 food. So I think this makes sense. And if I have to counter something, I won't be able to make any food. We're going to pay 4. I think that's the first time in this format I've actually paid the full cost on that card. So, yeah, we're going to Glorious Gale that. Does mean they know we're defenseless. So if they have a way to finish us off here, they can, but letting them get a 2-for-1 like that has a way higher percentage chance of making us lose, I think. Okay. Ooh. Alright, so we're going to Birthday Escape. I think we're going to turn this thing around, even though we're obviously quite low on life. I guess making my ground creature the ring... Well, if I can get to level 4, it's going to be better to have it on a flyer. Alright, and then we play Willow Wind. Yeah, we don't really want either of those. They have to kill 2 things to not be dead here? Luckily, they didn't get to level 4, because that would have been a brutal way to die. Alright, so we got one more game left, one way or another, whether we win or lose. Okay, we're on the play, so, you know, really, honestly, perfectly fine that we're not doing anything until turn 3. We can do the whole Elrond into Crebain thing, which may or may not be worth doing. If I feel like I need the 2 bodies before I need to sort of set it up, I will obviously do that. I do think this was kind of a dud in this deck overall. The fact I can loot it away has made it much less bad for us than it might have otherwise been. Gorbag's pretty annoying, but I don't need to play Crebain to... Honestly, I think we leave it. I mean, a 4th land would be good, I guess. But getting some 2 ring temps and making multiple bodies seems pretty good to me. Now, if they kill Elrond, it's going to be less good, but I still think, you know, playing Crebain, 2 Crebains, yeah, they do play Elrond, or kill Elrond. Playing 2 Crebains is good anyway, so. Even without getting 2 ring temps out of it, you know, well, it would be 1 per Crebain, but you know what I mean. I do think we block Gorbag. Now I really think we block him. Oh, no, they went with the bigger creature. I think there's time. So I'm going to play the Oath here. Honestly, I guess I'm going to attack them, too. It's not looking amazing, but it's not over or anything yet, either. There's Naz Shagrat. So I can play Fellbeast here. I think it's probably what I'm supposed to do. Probably they lose Gorbag and hold on to these bigger creatures, which is less than ideal, but like if I could find a way to get rid of Gorbag, that'd be great, because killing one of them would be way better, but that's not really an option. I don't think I attack with Crebain this time. So goodbye, Gorbag. It's not a game where I wanted both my oaths to show up in my hand. I can tell you that much. So I think I blocked this. I think there's a chance they have, you know, something, but I'm actually going to block like this, though. Since we have a Crebain in our hand, that'll just replace these even if we get blown out. And if we don't, you know, that works for me. We're also going to get 3/1/1s this turn. Tapped, of course, but we'll have them. Yeah, Menace is not great news. So, I think File into Crebain seems pretty good here. We're actually kind of close to ending up at a point where it'll draw us extra cards, so that's cool. We do have to have our shields up for now, though. Maybe I will have time to play another Oath. Killing my Fellbeast would be quite bad, and oh, yeah! How about that? Whew. Fear Fire foes, man. What a crazy uncommon. So if I take 8, I think that's what we're supposed to do, sadly, but 8 to the face. How low does our life have to be for us to gain more life with food? We're pretty close to meeting that threshold. Do I want to play the Oath here? The thing about playing the Oath is I can leave the food up, but it's probably still going to be better to just play Willow Wind. That seems useful. I still have food up, actually. I keep forgetting the File. I can add mana. So this is going to force me into a very ugly block. And it might just kill me, actually. Yep, they'll just kill me because they get to the final level. All right, deck did pretty well. I mean, there are definitely some matchup issues, and the File was pretty awkward. Don't think I would play it in this deck again, but overall the deck was good. It performed well. We went 6-3. Felt like a nice grindy control deck, and those are always fun and limited. So yeah, that'll do it for this draft video. I'll see you all in the next one.